This length is just a nightmare. How could you let yourself get to this point? And most likely that's the first thing that comes to mind when you see such a scary house. And yes, scary is my husband Anton's nail. I think everyone already knows it. And that's what happens when you're moving, when you have a tight schedule, you have to run around here and there, there's a lot of work. Eventually you come to your senses and your nails are tapping on the floor as you walk. So we're going to clean everything up. First, let's take the nail clippers. By the way, I use clippers from TechSnip. I'll also show a picture of them here on the side. And this is a cool model that I recommend getting for home use. They're just so convenient. I always have these at home. And now let's move on to the main character of our video. This is a liquid blade from... It's a really cool thing that softens, moisturizes, and basically removes dust. It's a gentle keratolytic with multiple functions, that's sufficient. But the first thing we're going to do with it today is remove, the gunk from under our nails. You know, nail buildup accumulates. Anton always has a lot of it, all the time. He has a slightly unusual nail bed shape on his thumb, and when his nails grow out, there are just unbelievable deposits in those corners, in my opinion. But let's take a closer look. By the way, sometimes there are also socks in there. Anything can happen there, but honestly, when I saw what was on his feet, I told him not to cut them himself. Let's do a pedicure to show that this can happen, and you don't necessarily have to be homeless or something like that, as everyone thinks. But it's just a normal human condition when something accumulates under your nails as they grow, and all of this needs to be taken care of. And it's not that easy, it's actually hard to deal with. If you have a few necessary tools, like a curette, for example, I just can't live without it. I think a pedicure is impossible without a curette. I just don't see the possibility of picking at it with a pusher or an orange stick. It's extremely inconvenient. But a curette with a soft edge is exactly what you need. Basically, we clean everything out from under the nails, and I guess it's already really noticeable. It's unclear what's on the nails, whether it's some kind of coating, peeling, or splitting. And honestly, when I saw them, I thought, wow, what happened to my nails? When did I miss this? Then I remembered that during my last pedicure we used the matte polish, and of course we didn't remove it, so that's how the polish wore off after I think about 2 months. We didn't cut these nails for a long time. There's nothing terrible here, just old matte nail polish. And what you're seeing now is rocking, or let's say a bit of pulling on this excess skin. This is done with tweezers, but I want to say that it's only done by professionals, so I don't recommend pulling anything out yourself. You can make a hole. I'll make a hole here today too, just like always. If I'm doing Anton's pedicure, there will definitely be a hole left in it. Well, I also had tweezers from there, and the special thing about pathological tweezers is that on the inside, on the part that holds, they have little teeth. It's a cool thing. Now let's move on to working directly with the cuticle itself. Here I will use a safe bit from the brand Biotech. This is Magic Beads. It's a cool bit that is actually made of carbide, like the ones used for removal, but at the same time it has completely blunt edges. And it might seem like a completely useless thing, but actually it's very useful in pedicures and in manicures too. Basically anywhere it's hard to open up the pocket, this safe bit will solve those problems. And next is the drop bit, but not the pedicure one, the manicure one. I've already shown the pinky with this bit, and now I'm showing the thumb. By the way, I'm showing them in separate videos because otherwise it would be too long. And here we have a little surprise. The thing is, the nail fold rubs against the side wall of the nail, and naturally, besides all sorts of things accumulating there, there's also a small thickening that looks like a callus. So I opened it up with the drill, and as they say, I don't mind doing this to my husband, and of course I made a small hole in it that shouldn't be there. But I don't hide my mistakes. Here, I'm showing it to you completely openly. That happens, but I have a request. If it does, please treat the wound, okay? Rinse it with hydrogen peroxide, then go over it again. Either use number 4 or capramine, just take any remedy that stops bleeding. It's not critical. By the way, it's been about a week and a half since I recorded this video. Anton is fine, he's okay, his finger didn't fall off, he'll definitely live. So I think it's absolutely not fatal. I'm also showing how I treat 2 more fingers because the long side walls of the nails rubbed all the skin. You see, there are these unpleasant grooves that definitely need to be cleaned out because they cause discomfort. Also, one of the highlights today is polishing the nail plate using a diamond bit. If the diamond bit has a smooth, let's say, cheek-like surface, well, anyway, this smooth part that I used to go over the nail, you can easily use it to prepare the nails for coating or just to polish them. In my case, I'm removing the remaining nail polish. Because honestly, I just didn't want to go get acetone, I didn't have it on hand, so I managed with what I had. Next, using liquid blade, which honestly looks just like magic, I remove all the dust. By the way, that's one of its functions. And after the dust is removed, you can immediately see where you need to trim. I use nippers to remove the cuticle. Well, of course, you can't really expect a perfectly smooth cut here. By the way, I never managed to get a really perfect pedicure on Anton. I think the problem is that I always try to do better than I need to. As they say, the best is the enemy of the good. By the way, the hole is already shining right at us in the frame. Well, okay, let's pretend we don't see it right now because I'm about to start sanding. I took a silicon carbide polisher, it's also from Biotech. And if the tip of your polisher seems too sharp to you, you can easily smooth it out with a nail file, and it will become rounded. And I'm also using molecular oil right now. This is one of the options for polishing. Basically, you can use any oil, but in pedicures we most often use this one. It's perfect for polishing heels. You can polish nails, cuticles, basically any part of the feet and hands that you want to smooth out. Honestly, I don't do it often. They don't usually use this exact method, but since we weren't planning to apply any coating here, I decided to polish it this way. After the polishing is finished, you need to use a napkin to remove the excess oil. Well, just so there isn't an oily toe, which would simply be unpleasant, and basically our pedicure is done at this point. At the end, use an antiseptic, and here we have such beautiful feet. Don't pay attention to the hole. Do you remember? Yeah, well, it happens to everyone. It happened to me too. By the way, write in the comments if anyone else doesn't take care of their husbands.